Yo, boy MC back. Talk about the one on rest in peace, Biggie. In Jesus' name, I pray, man. Baby, Big Papa, aka Notorious, aka along with George Clinton and Bone Thugs and Harmony, Biggie, Easy E, get him out, Chris Conflict Outcast. It's the reason why I rap and do what I do, why I came MC. Kanye West, Common, Lupe Fiasco, and Q-Tip. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie, Papa Collins, and we do Christopher George Lattimore Wallace, born May 21st, 1972, all to March 9th, 1997, better known by his stage name or his B.I.G. or Biggie for short. Biggie Smalls was an American rapper and songwriter rooted in the East Coast hip hop and gangster rap traditions. He is widely considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. Wallace became known for his distinctive, laid back lyrical delivery, offsetting with hit lyrics, I should say. His lyrics often grim content. His music was semi autobiographical, telling of a hardship and criminality, but also semi. Born Christopher George Latour Wallace, May 21st, 1972, in New York City, USA. Died March 9th, 1997, at the age of 24, Los Angeles, California, USA. Cause of death, drive-by homicide, gunshot wounds. Other names, Biggie Smalls, Biggie, Big, Frank, White, Big Papa, MC West, Papersons, a rapper, songwriter. Years after 1992 to 1997, partner, Charlie Baltimore, 1995 to 1997, children, two, including CJ. Awards, genres, East Coast hip hop, gangster rap, hardcore hip hop, labels, Bad Boy, Atlantic, Arista, and Uptown. Wallace was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. It was Brooklyn, Milton Heights City in 1993. He became the first artist to sign with Sean Combs' Bad Boy Records. And other artists' singles, his debut studio album, Ready to Die in 1994, received acclaim, including successful singles Juicy, Big Papa, and One More Chance. Ready to Die made Wallace the central figure of East Coast hip hop and helped restore its prominence at the time when the West Coast was dominating the genre in 1995. At 1995, the 995, aka the 19995. And the Wallace was named Rapper of the Year in the Billboard Music Awards with his protege group Junior Mafia, and which included longtime friends like Lil Kim. Released the album Conspiracy. Good album, go check it out. While working on his second album in 1995, Wallace became embroiled in a growing East Coast versus West Coast hip hop rivalry, including a feud with his former friend Tupac. Go check that video I did on Tupac yesterday. You'll love it. And it's gonna come and connect with this, then connect with the Easy video I possibly do tomorrow. Tupac Shakur. After Shakur was murdered in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in September 1996, rumors circulated suggesting that Wallace might have been involved, given to the artist featured in March 1997. 6 months after Shakur's death, Wallace was also killed in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. Rest in peace to both Biggie and Pac and Easy, the three big three. You heard Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole are the big three, but Biggie, Tupac, and Eazy is the original big three. Then in the 80s, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, and Rakim are the big three. And Los Angeles spot an unknown assailant. 2 weeks later, Life After Death, 1997, was released as a posthumous double album that did the Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles Hypnotized and More Money, More Problems, and received Diamond certification by the Recording Industry Association of America, aka the RI, also known as the RIAA. Two more posthumous albums followed duets The Final Chapter 2005 and The King and I with Faith Evans in 2017. Wallace certified sales exceeded at 28 million copies, including 21 million albums. Rolling Stones called him the greatest rapper to ever live. And in 2015, Billboard named him as the greatest rapper of all time. Source named him the greatest rapper of all time. Again, its 150th issue in 2006, and TV ranked him at the number 3 on their list, greatest hip hop MCs of all, them calling him possibly the most skillful ever on the mic in 2010. No, 2020, I mean. He was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Salute. Life career. Basically, yeah. 1997 to 1990, early life. Christopher George Latour Wallace was born in Cumberland Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. On May 21st, 1972, Wallace was the only child of Jamaican immigrant parents. His mother, Valetta Wallace, died in 2025, was a preschool teacher, while his father, Sugan George Latour, was a welder and politician, and at the age of 5, he began attending preschool in the Quincy Littleton Open Door Day Center, where he was already bigger than most of the children. 3 months before Wallace's third birthday, his father left the family, leaving his mother to raise him while working 2 jobs. He grew up in Brooklyn, Clinton Hill, near the border of Bedford, Stuyvesant, and as a child, Wallace spent most of his time Fulton Streets, where he was introduced to drug dealing, alcoholism, and gambling. Raised as a Jehovah's Witness, Wallace attended St. Peter Claver Church in Brooklyn, graduating from the Paris Elementary School in 1982, and he excelled in the English subject. In the Queen of All Saints Middle School, he attended Weston High School, a public school attended by several featured celebrities, including Jay-Z and Busta Rhymes. I'm assuming this is influence. Oh yeah, it's because Big grew up listening to Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder left and Marvin Gaye right. While attending the Washington West Dallas High School, Wallace weighed 91 kilograms, 201 pounds, which earned him the nickname Big. During this period, his interest in drug dealing intervened, having been influenced by the crack epidemic of the 1980s and 1990s. A friend introduced him to buying and selling marijuana when he was around the age of 12. Having grown up in a strict household, Wallace concealed the money he earned on the roof of his apartment. His mother had no idea about this. He only discovered it when he was 20 years old. Despite being an honor student, Wallace dropped out of school at the age of 16 due to his growing interest in drug dealing. In 1989, he was arrested in Brooklyn on weapons charges and sentenced for 5 years. Probation the following years, he was arrested for violating the probation. A year later, Wallace was arrested in North Carolina, my home state where I'm from, North Kakalaki, for dealing crack cocaine and spent 9 months in jail before making bail. Dang, I'm in North Carolina. Dang, Biggie, one of my icons, one of my idols, next to George Clinton and next to Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, was in North Carolina. Not living there, but arrested there. Early in his life, Wallace was influenced by black artists like the Dramatics, Black Magic, Teddy Pendergrass, Stevie Wonder, and Marvin Gaye. He was also well acquainted with the performance of Parliament Funkadelics. Ironically, one of my favorite people. See how that go full circle? Biggie, my favorite rapper. George Clinton, the Funkadelics, my favorite old school funk group. And he worked with Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, my favorite rap group. It was all influenced me, the MC. Also was acquainted in the performance of Parliament. Yep, in the performance of Funkadelic, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Cool G, Cool in the Gang, and Chick. During a visit to Jamaica, he was influenced by the prominent native genres including jazz, reggae, soul, and mento. As Wallace entered Dillon's, he started listening to artists like Run DMC and LL Cool J. You know, it's Mr. Rocky. His beat is hard as hey. Wallace adopted the stage name MCC West and formed the Techniques with his two friends Michael Bynum and Hubert Sams. Wallace met Donald Harris, a saxophonist from New Orleans, and the Techniques worked on their first songs together at Harrison Home Studio. First songs together at Harrison Home Studio. Yeah, the first songs together at Harrison Home Studio. Left the ed out my bag. And as the trio grew, while Bynum lost interest in music industry, Wallace adopted his signature scene 76 film Let's Do It Again, 1991 and 1994. Early career and first child. After his release from jail, Wallace produced his first demo tape in 1991 called Microphone Murderer with disc jockey named 50 Grand. All through, not to be mistaken with 50 Cent. All through, Wallace repeatedly had little ambition for the tape. Local disc jockey Mr. C, known for his work with Big Daddy Kane and the Juice Crew, discovered and promoted it. Mr. C sent the tape to Matito catalog and editor of the magazines who featured the track in the unsigned hype section of March 1992, a chart dedicated to showcasing promising rappers. That year, Wallace started gaining exposure after reading the unsigned hype section. Sean Combs arranged to meet him. Combs connected Wallace to Rhyme of the remix of Mary J. Blige's hit Real Love. That's my joy, Hail Mary, full of grace. In 1992, Wallace's girlfriend Jane Jackson became pregnant and he was signed to Uptown Records in March by Combs. Wallace's first chance to record a solo track by Uptown Records rather than feature another artist's remix came in 1992 when Combs was creating a song for the soundtrack of the hip hop comedy Who's the Man. The song was Party and Bull Stuff, produced by the Brooklyn based Easy Mo B. The song was heavily inspired by When the Revolution Comes by the Last Poets, which uses sarcasm, frustration, and humor to critique young black people's lack of seriousness in the struggle for equality. In this track, vocalist Umar bin Hassan delivers the lines like in words will party and bull s. In a party and bull s, development on Wallace's first album began to Capelon's apartments in the late 1992. Wallace appeared on Heavy D, Rest Peace Heavy D, Rest Peace Biggie, Rest Peace Craig Mack, Rest Peace Easy E, and the boys. Oh yeah, Blue Pumpkin track in where in July 1993. Oh, here we go. A month before Wallace's first child was born, Combs was fired from the Uptown Records and mentor Adrian Harrell, resulting in the loss of access to the songs recorded at that time. John gave birth to Tayana Dream Wallace on August 8th, 1993. Wallace promised his daughter everything she wanted, believing that if he would have experienced the same support in his own childhood, he would have graduated at the top of his class. Soon after he was fired, Combs started his own record label, Bad Boy Records. Bad Boys. And promptly signed Wallace to the label, Combs discovered that Wallace continued dealing drugs and insisted he stop. When Wallace found out the name Biggie Smalls was already taken, he adopted the new moniker, settling the notorious B.I.G. Wallace explained the acronym B.I.G. stood for business instead of game. Combs and Clive Davis, then CEO of Arista Records, that was Clive Davis, Puff Daddy, and Black Rob Records reached an agreement in which Davis provided Combs with 1.5 million advance and full creative control. Combs primarily used the money to repurchase the tracks recorded for Wallace's album from her role. Around this time, Wallace formed a friendship with fellow rapper Tupac Shakur in Los Angeles. Lil Cease remembered the two as being very close, often traveling together when they were not working. He noted that Wallace frequently visited Shakur's home, and they spent time together whenever Shakur was in California or Washington, D.C. Yuck Mouth, one of my other favorite rappers, Yuck Mouth in the business. An Oakland MC stated that Wallace's style was influenced by Shakur. The Real Love remix single was followed by a remix of Mary J. Blige's song What's the 411? Question mark. Wallace's success continued through the lesser extent and with remixes of Neon Cherries, Buddy X, and reggae artist Super Cats, Mr. Dolly Dolly Bye Baby. In 1993, in July 1994, Wallace appeared alongside LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes, two of my other favorite rappers, on a remix of Craig Match. Track Flavor in Your Ear was inspired. The West Coast, I Got Five on It remix. Shout out to both Flavor in Your Ear remix and Five on It remix. Go check that question I asked, which one you like best, Flavor in Your Ear remix or I Got Five on It remix. And like, share, and subscribe while you at it. And it reached the number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. Flavor in Your Ear reached number 1 on the top rap charts. 1994, Ready to Die and Marriage to Faith Evans. On August 1994, Wallace married R&B singer Faith Evans, whom he first met in June 1994. Promotional photos shot Wallace and Mo B originally wanted Machine Gun Funk as Wallace's up-and-coming album's first single due to its funky upbeat. Due to its funky upbeat, I say. Sound Combs preferred a smooth and sound like to release the upcoming album's first song to be released was the title track Ready to Die, followed by Gimme the Loot, Things Done Changed, Machine Gun Funk, and Warning. Who's this? Paging me. Machine Gun. Wallace had his first pop chart success as a solo artist with Double-Sided Juicy, Unbelievable, which reached number 27 as the lead single to his debut album, recorded the Hit Factory between 1993 and 1994. Wallace released his double debut studio album, Ready to Die, on September 13th, 1994. I was 3 years old at the time. I remember that. Inspired by Snoop Dogg's bold, violent, and darkly humorous hit records, Wallace sought out to create a similar style with Ready to Die. Infused with East Coast influence, Wallace originally wanted to name the album Teflon Don, The Teflon Don, drawing inspiration from John Gotti, who was then making headlines for his ability to avoid legal troubles. Combs disagreed, arguing that the title should be impact in a way that will represent the masses. Wallace agreed to follow Combs' decision and to concede the name Ready to Die. Ready to Die reached number 15 on the Billboard's 200 charts. Haha. Sold over 500,000 copies in its first week. Like I'm gonna give y'all 500,000 views. And the week was certified 4 times platinum. Yeah, 4 times platinum. That FOUR, 4 to the times. And the album shifted attention back to the East Coast hip hop. At the time, the West Coast hip hop dominated U.S. charts. It received positive reviews upon release and has been widely praised in retrospective. In addition to Juicy, the album produced 2 other hit singles, platinum selling Big Papa, That's Me, which topped the US rap charts on the One More Chance, which sold 1 million copies in 1995. The year of its release, Busta Rhymes recalled seeing Wallace handling out copies of Ready to Die from his home, which the former saw it as a way of marketing himself. In 1994, Wallace formed the hip hop group Junior Mafia. You know, it's Big Cease. I mean, Little Cease, Lil Kim, I think Charlie Baltimore and them. Cause Biggie Baby Baby, which included many of his childhood friends such as Lil Kim and Lil Cease, the name of the back room for the masters finding intelligent master attitudes. Basically, masters of finding intelligent attitudes, what Junior Mafia stand for. It's my first time ever finding that out. Learn something new every day. Wallace also befriended basketball player Shaquille O'Neal, aka Shaq, the big catch, the big girl star. As O'Neal said, they were introduced during the listening session for Gimme the Loot. Wallace mentioned him in the lyrics and attracted O'Neal to his music, and O'Neal requested a collaboration with Wallace, which was all in the song "You Can't Stop the Rain," sampled by the 1980s British group Loose Ends, who gave you "Hanging on a String" and "Slow Down." And of course, what the song I just said, "You Can't Stop the Rain." Wallace would collaborate with anybody he didn't really respect. According to Combs, Wallace would not collaborate with anybody that he didn't really respect, and that Wallace paid O'Neal his respect by shouting him out. In 2015, Daz Dillinger, a frequent collaborator with Shakur, said that he and Wallace were cool with Wallace traveling and meeting him to smoke cannabis, aka weed, aka marijuana, aka the devil's lettuce, and recorded two songs. 1995 collaboration with Michael Jackson, rest in peace Michael Jackson, Junior Mafia's assistant coastal feud. Junior Mafia began working on their debut studio album in 1994. On August 29th, 1995, Conspiracy was released via underage recordings and achieved gold certification and sold over 500,000 copies. Like y'all give me 500,000 views, please. View this, get this 500,000 views. I got something special for you. Copies in the US, the first single players anthem feature Wallace, Lil Kim, Lil Cease. I know you see me on the video, true. I know you see me on the radio, still can't pay and no attention. She's a freak, cause I got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, I'm not trying to rush on you, but I gotta let you know I got a crush on you. Clark and single Get Money and Battle for the Sexes featuring Wallace and Lil Kim began their most popular songs, Players Anthem and Get Money, charted within the top 20th in the US and also earned gold and platinum status, respectively. Wallace continued collaborating with R&B artists, working with groups like 112 on Only You, in total on the Can't You See, both in which reached the top 20 at 2-0 for the Nero. By the end of the year, Wallace had became the top-selling male solo artist and rapper in both the U.S. pop and the R&B charts. And in 1995, Wallace appeared on the cover of the Source magazine with the caption "The King of New York," with the iconic image of him with the crown on his head. In the Source, in the caption "The King of New York," over a nod to his alias Frank White, inspired by the character from the 1990 film King of New York. At the Source Awards in August 1995, he won Best New Artist Lyricist of the Year and Live Performance of the Year, while his debut album was named Album of the Year. He was also honored as a Rap Artist of the Year in the Billboard Awards 1995. You know what it is. Wallace became involved in the East Coast West Coast hip hop rivalry, which involved his longtime, now former friend Shakur on an April 1995 interview with Vibe while serving time in Clinton Correctional Facility. Shakur accused Harold Combs and Wallace of having prior knowledge of the robbery on November 30th, 1994, during which he was shot 5 times and lost thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. They denied any involvement. Wallace said that I had nothing to do with that. It just happened to be a coincidence that he was in the studio. He couldn't really say who really had something to do with it. But at the time, so he just kind of leaned the blame on me. In 2012, Dexter Isaac, who was serving a life sentence for unrelated crimes, claimed responsibility for the attack on Shakur that night, stating that the robbery was orchestrated by entertainment executive and former drug trafficker James Rosemond. After his release from prison, Shakur signed with Death Row Records in October 1995. This made Bad Boy Records and Death Row business rivals, further escalating the conflict between Shakur and Wallace. In June 1995, Wallace guest appeared with pop singer Michael Jackson on the album History Continues, proving vocals for the song. This time around, Lil Cease claimed that when Wallace met Jackson, he was made to stay behind, with Wallace explaining that he did not trust Michael with kids due to the 1990s child sexual abuse allegations against Jackson. The engineer John Van Ness recalled that Wallace was excited to meet Jackson and was nearly brought to tears when it happened. Wallace began recording this record's second studio album in the late 1995, working on it over the course of 18 months. In New York City, Trinidad, and Los Angeles, the recording process, disputed injuries, and legal issues was publicized hip-hop feud between Wallace and Shakur. 95 arrest accusations regarding Tupac Shakur's death. In 1996, Lil' Kim became pregnant with Wallace child while the two were having an affair, but she later decided to get an abortion. Wallace also started a relationship with Charlie Baltimore, a Philadelphia native who portrayed Evans in the Get Money music videos, although Wallace shared his plans to include her in the supergroup called The Commission. She was aware of that she was not the only woman in his life. On March 23rd, 1996, Wallace was arrested outside a Manhattan nightclub for chasing and threatening two fans who were asking the autograph, smashing the windows of their taxi, punched one of them, and pleaded guilty to second-degree harassment and was sentenced to 100 hours of community service. Later that year, he was arrested in his home of Teaneck, New Jersey, on drug and weapon possession charges. At the Soul Train Music Awards in 1996, One More Chance Remix was nominated for Song of the Year and received R&B Soul Rap Song of the Year in the same year. In 1996, Shakur released Hit 'Em Up, a diss track directed towards Wallace and the other East Coast rapper. Shakur claimed to have had an affair with Evans, who was estranged from Wallace at that time, and accused Wallace of copying his style. An image described as a manic. Hit 'em up. This is Wallace, Combs, and their associates, including Junior Mafia, Evans, and Bad Boys. In recipes, Chino itself, honorable mention. He dissed Chino itself. In recipes, Prodigy from Mobb Deep, honorable mention. He did diss Prodigy. And Jay-Z and Boom Mafia, Evanston Records. In 1996, Wallace collaborated with rising rapper Jay-Z on his debut album, Reasonable Doubts, which we talked about it. Check out that video. According to the title Brooklyn Finance, the track used humor to address speculations surrounding Wallace and Secure. Faith had twins. She'll probably have two packs. Get it? Two packs? According to Wallace, humor had always been his way of coping with hardship since elementary school, explaining, I gotta make jokes about it. I know something like that big because humor is also my way of coping with things. I gotta make jokes about it too as well. Shout out to Biggie, George Clinton, and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Biggie and Tupac and Eazy-E and Big Pun made it. Rest in peace. But George Clinton and Bone Thugs still alive. I want so many N-words like him, so many rough and tough mother suckers. I said sucker, I didn't say the actual F word he said. When I heard he got shot, I was like, hell, be out in the morning smoking some weed, drinking Hennessy or whatever. He ain't thinking he gonna die while it's on Secur's death. On September 7th, 1996, Secure was shot 4 times in a drive-by shooting. Rest in peace. And died 6 days later because of Shakur's accusation on his records. Wallace, along with other New York rappers like Mobb Deep, Capone, and Noriega, became suspects in the murder. In 2002, Los Angeles Times series titled Who Killed Tupac Shakur journalist Chuck Phillips reported based on police reports and multiple resources, the shooting was carried out by the Southside Crips, seeking revenge on for the beating of Tupac Shakur, allegedly afflicted that day. Reports also claim that Wallace had paid for the gun to be used in the shooting, and the night Shakur died. In January 1997, Wallace was ordered to pay $441,000 in damages following an incident involving a friend concert promoter who claimed Wallace and his outrage beat him. Following the dispute in May 1995, he faced criminal assault charges in the incident, which remained unresolved. But all robbery charges were dropped following the events. Wallace spoke on the desire to focus on his peace of mind and his family and friends. And the development of Life After Death concluded in January 1997 for the March 2025, 25th release in February 1997. Wallace traveled to California to promote Life After Death, and on the morning of February 16th, Wallace began preparations for the days of the work. He had arrived in Los Angeles 2 weeks before the Soul Train Music Awards. To the film, his video lead singer hypnotized. The 3 days shoot with a budget of $700,000 was both a promotional effort and statement in his return to the music scene. Hypnotized was officially released on March 4th, 1997. It debuted at #2 on the US and later reached #1. Now we're going to the murder. On March 1997, Wallace attended Soul. On March 8th, 1997, March attended the Soul Training Awards. After them, hosted by Vibes, Quest Records at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, California. Guests including Faith Evans, Ali, rest in peace, and members of the Bloods and Crips gangs with over 2,000 people overcrowding the Venus. Fire Marshal Street shut it down at 12:35 a.m. on March 9th after the taking of the new foes. Wallace and his crew headed downstairs to Chevrolet Suburbs that had rented for budget rent a car. He traveled in the front passenger seat alongside associate Damon D. Rock, butler Lil Cease, and driver Gregory G. Money Young. Combs traveled in the other Suburbans, and 3 bodyguards. 2 trucks were trailed by a Chevrolet Blazer carrying Bad Boys Directors of Security by offer. Soon after that, Wallace Suburban stopped at the red light, and the black Chevrolet Impala pulled up to the right side of the car Wallace was in. Impala's driver was described as an unidentified African American man in a blue suit and bow tie. Rolled down his window and drew a 9mm blue steel pistol and fired at Wallace's vehicle. Wallace was struck by 4 bullets. His entourage rushed him to the Sandra Sinai Medical Center, where the emergency theotomy was performed, but he was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. He was 24 years old, and the autopsy report released 15 years after his death revealed that only the final shot proved fatal. Bullet entered through his right hip, damaging his colon, liver, heart, and left lung before coming to rest of his life shoulders. Rest in peace. Of course, the biopic, Notorious in 2009 biographical film depicted the life and career of Wallace, starring rapper Jamal Willard in the lead role, directed by George Tillman Jr. and distributed by Fox Searchlight Pictures. His discography, studio albums, Ready to Die, 1994, Life After Death, 1997, collaboration albums, Conspiracy with Junior Mafia, 1995, Potamus albums, Born Again, 1999, Duets, The Final Chapter, 2005, The King and I, with Faith Evans, 2017, Film Media, Filmography, The Show, 1995, as himself, Rhyme and Reason, 1997, documentary as himself, Biggie and Tupac, 2002, documentary, archive footage, Tupac Resurrection, 2003, documentary, archive footage, Notorious B.I.G., Bigger Than Life, 2007, documentary, archive footage, Notorious 2009, archives footage, All Eyes on Me, 2017, archives footage, Quincy, 2018, documentary, archives footage, Biggie, The Life of Notorious B.I.G., 2017, documentary, archives footage, Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell, 2021, documentary, the archives footage, television appearance, New York Undercover, 1995, as itself, I remember the episode, I was 4 years old. Martin, 1995, as itself, I also remember the episode, the rest, I was 4 years old. Who Shot Biggie and Tupac in 2017, Unsolved in 2018. ASAP Rhyme and Music Awards in 2005, 2017, and 2008, 20. Sicko Mode, Run or Die to Live with Tupac Shakur. Hypnotized. And that's the story of the Big, Biggie the Big Papa. Now, may you do me a favor, folks. Like this live. Share this live. Subscribe to me. 255 more. We at the 1,000 mark. And with you doing that, may you do the rest by giving me 4,000 watch hours. And we out. Romans chapter 1, Luke chapter 9, Ephesians chapter 4, Job chapter 4, and Mark chapter 4. In 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Now we're about to go with the outro. Love y'all. Keep doing what y'all do. Support you, and God bless you.